The tennis world has witnessed unforgettable moments for decades. Legendary rivalries, historic comebacks, champions lifting trophies beneath roaring crowds. But in the summer of 2025, something happened that felt different. Something far more emotional than statistics, rankings, or titles. For the first time since his retirement, Rafael Nadal, the fiercest competitor the sport has ever seen, was seen openly crying. Not after a heartbreaking defeat. Not during a farewell ceremony. Not while reflecting on injuries or the end of his legendary career. Instead, Nadal was sitting quietly at home in Mallorca, watching a match happening thousands of miles away. On the screen in front of him was a 20-year-old girl from the Philippines collapsing onto the court with tears pouring down her face after the biggest victory of her young career. And suddenly, Rafa broke down. The footage spread across social media with unbelievable speed. Millions of people watched it within hours. Tennis fans shared it everywhere. Even people who had not followed the sport in years suddenly became obsessed with one question. Who is this girl? And why does she mean so much to Rafael Nadal? The answer goes far deeper than anyone expected. To understand the moment that brought one of the greatest athletes in sports history to tears, you have to go back nearly a decade earlier to the Rafael Nadal Academy in Mallorca. The academy is not a glamorous paradise built for comfort. It is a place built on discipline, sacrifice, and relentless repetition. Under the scorching Mediterranean sun, young players train for hours every single day, chasing a dream that only a tiny percentage will ever achieve. The courts are unforgiving. The schedules are brutal. The expectations are enormous. Champions are not discovered there. They are built. And in 2016, a quiet 12-year-old girl from Manila walked through those gates carrying little more than a tennis bag and an impossible dream. Her name was Alexandra Eala. At the time, almost nobody outside the Philippines knew who she was. She did not come from one of the traditional tennis powerhouse nations. She did not have massive sponsorships or worldwide media attention. She came from a country where basketball dominated the headlines and where tennis infrastructure remained extremely limited compared to Europe or the United States. The odds against her were overwhelming from the beginning. But what Alexandra lacked in advantages, she made up for with determination. Every morning before sunrise, she trained alongside elite juniors from around the world. Many of them came from wealthy tennis families with private coaches, international tournament schedules, and years of professional support systems already in place. Alexandra had none of that. She only had belief. And at the Nadal Academy, belief alone is never enough. You must prove yourself every single day. There were difficult practices where exhaustion nearly pushed her to tears. There were matches she should have won but lost in painful fashion. There were lonely nights in a foreign country far away from home where doubt crept into her mind. But every single morning she returned to the court. And again, and again. That relentless mentality eventually caught the attention of Rafael Nadal himself. At first, it was nothing official. Rafa simply noticed the young Filipina during training sessions. He saw the way she fought for every point. He saw how she refused to mentally collapse even when things went badly. Most importantly, he saw something familiar. A fire. Not arrogance. Not entitlement. Pure competitive hunger. Alexandra Eala reminded Nadal of the qualities that had defined his own legendary rise years earlier. Quiet resilience. Mental toughness. The willingness to suffer. Over time, Nadal began following her development more closely. While managing his own career, injuries, and tournaments, he kept hearing positive reports about the hardworking girl from the Philippines who never stopped pushing herself. And slowly, Alexandra began turning potential into results. By 2022, she shocked the junior tennis world by winning the Australian Open girls singles title. Suddenly, the unknown scholarship player from Manila was becoming one of the brightest young prospects in the entire sport. The victory changed everything. Media attention exploded. Filipino fans rallied behind her. Tennis analysts began describing her as a future star. But success at the junior level guarantees nothing in professional tennis. The real challenge was only beginning. When Alexandra transitioned onto the professional circuit, reality hit hard. She faced older, stronger, more experienced opponents every single week. Players who had spent years surviving the brutal demands of professional tennis. There were painful losses, tough lessons, moments where progress felt painfully slow. But Alexandra never disappeared. She kept fighting. Every setback became motivation. Every defeat became fuel. And by early 2025, everything finally started coming together. Then came Miami. The Miami Open is one of the most important tournaments outside the Grand Slams. The best players in the world compete there every year. Former champions, top-ranked superstars, and global icons dominate the draw. Alexandra Eala entered the tournament as a wild card ranked outside the top 100. Nobody expected her to make a serious run. Then she started winning. First came Madison Keys. Then Yelena Ostapenko. Two major champions eliminated by a fearless 20-year-old who refused to play intimidated tennis. The tennis world started paying attention. But nobody was prepared for what happened next. In the quarterfinals, Alexandra faced world number 2 Iga Swiatek, one of the most dominant players in women's tennis. Most people expected the Cinderella story to end immediately. Instead, Alexandra delivered the performance of her life. She attacked fearlessly. She absorbed pressure without panicking. She matched one of the sport's biggest stars shot for shot. And in one of the biggest upsets of the entire season, Alexandra Eala defeated Iga Swiatek in straight sets. The tennis world exploded. Social media erupted. Sports networks replayed highlights nonstop. Commentators struggled to find words strong enough to describe what they had just witnessed. And somewhere in Mallorca, Rafael Nadal watched it all unfold with enormous pride. Shortly after the match, Nadal privately reached out to Alexandra. The exact details of the message were never fully revealed publicly, but Alexandra later admitted that hearing from Rafa during that moment meant more to her than she could properly explain. Because for years, Nadal had represented something much larger than tennis to her. He represented perseverance, sacrifice, mental strength. Now one of the greatest champions in sports history was personally acknowledging her journey. But the most emotional moment was still yet to come. A few months later during the grass court season, Alexandra arrived in Eastbourne carrying huge momentum. She played some of the best tennis of her career and fought her way into the final of a WTA tournament. Championship point arrived. 1 point away from the biggest title of her life. The crowd held its breath. History stood inches away. And then everything fell apart. She missed. Then another mistake followed. Momentum vanished instantly. Her opponent surged back into the match while Alexandra struggled emotionally under the crushing pressure of the moment. Eventually, she lost. As the final point ended, Alexandra sat down on the bench and cried openly in front of the entire stadium. Not controlled tears. Not media-friendly emotion. Real heartbreak. The kind that only comes after giving absolutely everything and still falling short. The cameras captured every second. Within hours, the footage spread worldwide. And once again, Rafael Nadal was watching. This time, he reposted the video with just 4 simple words: "She will be back." That message hit tennis fans emotionally across the world. Because nobody understood painful defeats better than Nadal himself. He understood the agony of missed opportunities. He understood how brutal tennis can be. And he recognized something important in Alexandra's heartbreak. She cared deeply. That pain meant the dream mattered. Millions of fans responded to Rafa's message. The clip became one of the most emotional tennis moments of the entire year. And just months later, Alexandra proved Nadal right. At the WTA event in Guadalajara, she battled her way into another final. Once again, pressure surrounded her. Once again, doubts appeared. But this time, something had changed. She no longer looked afraid of the moment. After losing the first set, Alexandra completely transformed her intensity. She attacked relentlessly, played with fearless confidence, and eventually completed an incredible comeback victory to win the biggest title of her young career. As the final point landed inside the court, she collapsed to the ground overwhelmed with emotion. This time, the tears were different. These were tears of triumph. years of sacrifice, years of loneliness, years of fighting doubt, all released in one unforgettable moment. And once again, Rafael Nadal was watching from Mallorca. This time, he could not hold back his emotions. The legendary champion cried while watching the young girl he had seen arrive at his academy years earlier finally achieve the breakthrough she had dreamed about for so long. The video of Rafa's reaction spread around the world almost instantly. Fans everywhere felt the emotional weight of the moment. Because this was never just about tennis. It was about belief. It was about mentorship. It was about seeing years of sacrifice finally rewarded. A few months later, Nadal and Alexandra shared a private practice session in Mallorca. No massive media event. No flashy promotion. Just a retired legend helping a rising star continue her journey. For 2 hours, Nadal worked closely with her on technical details, especially her forehand mechanics, footwork, and topspin generation. Alexandra later admitted that portions of the session felt surreal. At one point, she became so distracted watching Nadal strike the ball that she completely stopped moving during a rally. Rafa laughed and told her to keep playing. It was a small moment, but one fans treasured deeply. Because it symbolized something bigger. The passing of knowledge. The continuation of values. The bridge between generations. Rafael Nadal's career inspired millions around the world. But Alexandra Eala represented proof that inspiration can become reality. The young girl from Manila who arrived at the academy carrying a dream too large for her suitcase had become one of the brightest rising stars in tennis. And somewhere deep inside, Rafa understood exactly what that meant. Not because of rankings, not because of trophies, but because he recognized the journey, the suffering, the persistence, the refusal to quit. That is why Rafael Nadal cried. Not simply because Alexandra Eala won a title, but because he watched someone earn it the hard way. And perhaps more than anything else, that is the part of sports that truly lasts forever.